Hi Scorpio, welcome to your March 2020 love reading. It's Rena here. Yes, I know that we're almost done with the first week in March, but you know, I recovered from the flu. What can I say? This is the, gosh, why do I always, I'm always pausing. Okay, what's the name of this deck? Etheric Visions. And you can kind of see the card. This is the back of the card. Okay, so I've got these. Wow, we got some fire energy. Scorpio? I was going to say Leo. Leo is the one. Well, that's because you're both fixed signs. I don't know for sure, obviously. I don't even know if it is a Scorpio. But anyway, the heart of the matter is the Four of Wands, and this is a domestic card. 4 is a number of structure, and isn't it that this is like the gilded, you know, these cards are gilded. And it's, excuse me, as the central theme, it indicates somebody who, regardless of your marital status or relationship status, whether you're single or involved, you're looking for a home life, domestic scene that is this card isn't about peaceful, that is happy, that's full of joy. And so if you're coupled and you don't have that, you might feel like you have to change that. And if you're single, then you may be thinking, I want a new home. I want to, you know, have children someday. If you're older, you might be saying, I want to have a companion, somebody that brightens my life up. In the past position, we have the Eight of Pentacles. So you might even be middle-aged and you've been working. You know, this is a card of work and getting yourself situated, getting yourself, you know, becoming successful, and then sitting back and saying, wow, look at where the time went, and I still haven't started a family, and I'm in my late 30s, and, you know, yeah, I'm financially secure, but, oh yeah, it's going to take time to do that. I can't just snap my fingers and then I have an instant family. I have to find a mate. That's the first thing. So you may be coming from this place of having, you know, methodically prepared for a career and gotten the money for, you know, a future, you know, children and all that together, and wanting, you know, the person to go along with it. And so the higher message is Knight of Cups. So the higher message is, see, now isn't that interesting? I'm talking about Pentacles, now we're talking about Cups here. This means that, and you're Cups because you're a water sign, this means that the spiritual message is that you have to look also at the emotional connection, the spiritual connection. And so you may be so focused on material, practical concerns that you're thinking about that in terms of another person, but you have to make sure that you are emotionally compatible with that person and that they are going to be sensitive to your needs. The Knight of Cups is a sensitive person. And so that means that it honors you as a water sign to have somebody who cares about your feelings. There are signs that it's not that they don't care, but they're just not into the emotions as much as other signs, and then they get accused of being insensitive. So emotional compatibility is important, you know. I think people don't realize that. They just think of some of the other things. What crosses you as the King of Wands, and that can mean somebody who, I mean, you know, I don't know. Now I'm getting self-conscious because somebody said, Joyce, you talk a lot about narcissists, but like I'm saying, when I see kings and queens, and this is going to be read as a challenge card, I'm using that term as an umbrella term to talk about a problem person in your life who happens to be like the King of Wands. This person can be a literal fire sign, like Aries, Leo, or Sag. They can be maybe in a position of power if that was your boss. And perhaps, you know, if you have been, let's say, if you have been having an affair with your boss and you want marriage and you have put yourself in a position that may not keep you from it 100% guaranteed, but certainly ups the chances that you will not be able to have that type of relationship with them because they are already involved with somebody else. And actually with the Four of Wands, in that particular scenario, it's like, what is a happy home? Is this person saying that they're unhappy in their relationship and they are trying to present this sob story to perhaps make you feel, you know, not so guilty for being involved with them because their wife doesn't understand them or something like that. And so anything along those lines, somebody who is, but they are very, this person, if you are involved with somebody like this, they are very self-centered, and even if they try to make it seem like it's for you, it's really for them. And they could be jerking you around too. They could be saying that they are, you know, in a position that they're really not in, just to kind of string you along. If you're single, this might be an ex, or perhaps a quality within you that you find it hard to relinquish control, that you have that side to yourself, and that you have to look at it because it can come out when you're dealing with potential partners, and they just kind of like, I can't, you know, this person's uncooperative, they won't, it's their way or the highway, and I just can't do it, and they just kind of check out. So see, you've got what's coming in is the Five of Wands. So if you are involved with somebody, you might just kind of say, look, I can't do this anymore, and it kind of sets up a, you know, conflict. But it's a necessary conflict because something has to give. You're not going to be willing to just sacrifice the rest of your good years for somebody else's pleasure. You want to believe that you have the right to happiness yourself. If you're single, you're going to have to jump in the fray. You're going to have to be willing to To me, the Five of Wands is also about letting people be free. If you're dating, like to me, this can be like the dating scene or the dating pool. And it's not about just possessing somebody right off the bat. Keeping it casual. Seeing somebody, but not making it be like, okay, we have to commit to one another right away. And I think a lot of Scorpios might mess things up by wanting to do that as well, because you just don't want that other person to be seeing other people. But if you're truly confident in yourself, Scorpio, when you're just meeting somebody, you want that other person to see how great you really are. And that will come not by preventing them from seeing other people, but by being confident enough to allow them to see other people, see you, compare how good they feel in your presence versus somebody else's, and you do the same until both of you are of the same belief that you are a good fit for each other. The outcome is the Ten of Wands, and just like I got with the Eight of Pentacles, this can be a card of like, working quite a bit. Maybe you're just in a phase where your career matters are taking a lot of your energy, but you still are holding out for that Four of Wands, of that situation of having the domestic bliss. If you're involved with somebody like the King of Wands, the Ten of Wands can be like you're doing a lot of the work, and that's not fair. That person may be really trying to create the illusion that you are at fault somehow. And that's why I was saying, like, if you confront this person and say, look, we have to do something about this. They may say, well, if you wouldn't do this or that, we wouldn't have this situation. Then, an example would be, well, if you were more this or more that, then I would feel more comfortable leaving my wife. I'm sure there are people who have heard things like that, have heard that kind of excuse. And so what will you do? You're going to try to be that perfect person for them. I'm going to pick an additional card just for the heck of it, because I don't like the idea of somebody doing that. Okay, this makes more sense. Seven of Swords. This is kind of like, going your own way, sometimes in a stealth manner. Yeah, in a stealth, there's no word, stealthy adjective, a stealth move. Sometimes it can be, realizing the deception of another person, maybe catching them in a lie, catching them kind of doing something that they claim they were not doing. And then it makes it easier for you to cut off the relationship, because perhaps they did kind of convince you that it was your fault somehow. And if you're single, perhaps this is carving time for yourself, or carving time for yourself from a demanding job so that you're able to date. Perhaps that's really something that you have little time for. Okay, that's what I have for you, Scorpio. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you'd like a personal reading, the link is below to my website, RenaMoonAstrology.com. Take care. Bye.